Alright, so this is a pretty weird combination, but hear me out. This film features Vikings from space! Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi-Night. I'm your host, Sebastian Vendel Martinez, and this is a show where we check out some of the lesser-known sci-fi and horror movies out there and let you know what to expect from them. So in this episode, we're checking out another weird clash of very different kinds of themes. Outlander is a 2008 sci-fi adventure fantasy written and directed by Howard McCain, who has not really made a whole lot of films worth noting. But he did write the screenplay for Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which is not a particularly impressive feather in one's cap, to be honest. The film features quite a few well-known faces, such as our protagonist, played by Jesus himself, Jim Caviezel, John Hurt, who's made tons of great films, but is probably remembered for being the centerpiece of the worst dinner party ever in Alien.
Oh, God!
As well as Ron Perlman, who you probably know as Hellboy.
Let me go in and say hi.
Outlander follows the suspiciously human-looking alien Kanan.
Kanan. What kind of name is that? Where are you from?
Who in the year 780 AD crashes in what is today Norway, only to have the alien beast that he was transporting called the Morwen escape and wreak havoc in the countryside. Using space technology, he learns the language
Syndamirki.
Söki, Starman, Norrno.
and sets out on a quest to track down the murderous beast that is now ravaging nearby villages. So this is kind of a sci-fi period piece in that it combines some futuristic spacey technology and themes with a very specific setting and time period. Kanan eventually runs into some of the local Vikings, who are appropriately freaked out by this humanoid alien's technology and shockingly poor fashion sense.
Well, what tribe was he? Frankish? Rus?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Kanan gets captured as he's blamed for the carnage that the alien beast has inflicted.
Why did you attack Gunner's village?
Didn't attack anyone.
Then why were you there?
I was hunting.
Hunting? Hunting what?
That.
A dragon.
The Morwen starts making his presence more well known, though, in some not so discreet ways. Which means that the mistrusting Vikings must team up with a spaceman from the sky to defeat the dragon. Okay, when I put it that way, it sounds retarded, but seriously, this is actually pretty fun. So yeah, that premise may sound a little bit silly, but it's played pretty straight, and I thought it worked just fine.
Don't lie to me.
Audiences weren't particularly receptive to the concept though, because Outlander completely bombed at the box office, and probably made sure that we'll never see another Howard McCain film ever again. The film did get its budget slashed though, and had to make a lot of budget cuts, which is noticeable as the effects aren't as good as they should be, and some of the production feels a little shady.
You say you're responsible for this?
Like, not like a guy in a trench coat standing by a playground shady, but it does give off a bit of a TV movie feel at times. Despite the only okay production, there's actually a lot that I liked about this film, and I'm pretty sure there's an audience for it. So this film reminds me a bit of Stargate in that it uses sci-fi technology as an explanation for ancient mythology. And those of you who have a passing knowledge of Norse history and mythology will definitely get a kick out of seeing how the Vikings used alien technology and creatures as the basis of their religion and legends. Kanan's spaceship became the chariot in the sky, and the Morwen became dragons, and so on and so forth.
So, why don't you tell me about your dragon?
However, I gotta be honest, the budget isn't the only thing that brings this movie down. So like I stated before, the effects and production are a little meh.
Look at that.
It's fine.
May see it.
I mean, at times they work fine and at times they don't. And there are definitely some cheesy and stupid moments and plot holes.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes, baby.
Overall, the negatives didn't really outweigh the positives though, because it's still definitely a fun ride. Alright, so what should you expect from this mix of new and old? Let's find out. Alien meets Beowulf. So who would have thought that aliens and lasers could combine with swords and sorcery in such a surprisingly fun way? I mean, this is just a pretty cool and unique setup that isn't really seen very often. With that being said, it is at the end of the day a sci-fi fish out of water story, a clash between two very different worlds, which in itself isn't that unique, but it's the details that make it stand out.
I can understand that.
Okay, production. So as previously stated, this film doesn't really live up to the potential because this could have been an awesome little flick. Unfortunately, the actors don't really seem to be giving it their all. The look of the film can be a bit flat and stale, and the budget cuts are noticeable. In the end, this film is pretty rough around the edges in most aspects, and the production is, unfortunately, only okay.
Oh, fuck.
Sci-fi action fun. So yeah, this isn't a great film,
I don't think so.
but it is a fun one that at least tries to do some things a bit differently. Some parts drag on a bit, the action isn't as good as it could be, but overall it's enjoyable, harmless fun. This is nothing that will be an all-time favorite, but definitely a fun way to pass the time anyway. So, the TV show Vikings is getting pretty popular these days, and if a part of you ever wished that Ragnar Lothbrok would just bust out a space laser and bust some caps in alien asses, well then this is definitely a film for you. If you thought the 13th Warrior needed more lasers, and if you saw cowboys and aliens and wished that there were more battle axes in it, that, or if you simply want sci-fi and history to clash, then check this out. It's silly, it's cheesy, the production isn't great, Ron Perlman's face is just as terrifying as usual, but I'd rather see a smaller budget film with unique ideas than the same dumbed down big budget horse shit that gets released every summer. If you're forgiving and not too picky, then I suggest you give Outlander a shot, but everyone won't get a kick out of it. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi-Night. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, you should let us know what you thought of this video and the film Outlander in the comments below, where you can also give us some ideas for future topics in other videos. As always, I'm your host, Sebastian Vendel Martinez, and I'll catch you guys next time.
What kind of metal is this?